Hello, I am Tesma from Tesma Figurines, and today we're going to do a short kind of tutorial of how I find good bootlegs on Aliexpress. Why I'm choosing Aliexpress over anything else is because if you buy on Aliexpress, you get them quite cheap. They have good reviews. Well, that's one of the reasons why I like Aliexpress, is because as you can see, it's easy to find reviews for the things that you want, including figures. So, first thing that you need to know, at least have decided what kind of figure do you want to buy. The easiest way to check, if you don't have an idea and you want to check for what kind of figure you could get, you just write in Figma or action figure or Nendoroid in the search bar, and then you get all kind of figures shown that are listed on the site. Of course, if you want to do a kind of more narrow search, you could just write in the name of the figurine that you want. As you can see, I chose this one, and let's see what can we find. One of the things that I would recommend is sorting the figures by price. It's best to do from lower to higher, because anyway, you're looking for a bootleg, and on Aliexpress finding a legit item is hard anyway, so just look at bootlegs. That's it. Okay, so we have this figure right here. One thing that we're going to see is, look, it has two options. In cases, I would recommend just going without the box, because the box is a bootleg version of it. It's usually not that good looking. It has some off colors, so just buy without a box. It's cheaper too. The next thing that you need to check is the pictures. I would highly recommend, if you're doing this for the first time or now it's your second time buying bootlegs, look up how the actual one looks like. What kind of pictures did the company take of this figure? Maybe it's worth to look into it. Maybe in many cases actually the Aliexpress bootleg sellers, they use original company figure photos, and the bootleg is not going to look like that, like really. So yeah, you check it out, and what can you see? You can see how the real one looks, and you're going to see the pictures that are on the seller site. There are a few types of them. One of them is the one that uses the original photos. There's one that uses better looking bootleg photos, and there's one that uses the legit bootleg photos, how they're going to sell. That is slippery if you're ordering like that, so let's scroll down and check out the reviews. I do recommend to buy figures, just if you're doing this for the first time, of course, is to buy just, if you see other people photos, because they usually depict how the thing actually looks like, how the figure is going to be. And that's why, and I do highly recommend the advice to leave reviews with photos if you buy the figure or anything. Doesn't matter if it looks good, doesn't matter if you give it 5 stars, just add photos for other people to see how the figure actually looks. This has helped me a lot, and if a figure is bad, I leave reviews with photos depicting the things that are bad about a figure. But yes, the key to success on buying bootleg figures on Aliexpress is looking for people who are brave enough to buy a bootleg without any kind of review photos, and you just kind of win because you can see how the figure looks, actually looks, instead of watching seller photos. Because in many cases, I have only found a few sellers that actually show actual figure photo of the bootlegs. They usually try to hide it behind original photos, of the company that produced the original figure, instead of how the bootleg looks. And usually those bootlegs look bad So it's best to look for companies that do show legit bootleg photos. Like, at least you know what you're getting, like how much you're paying. And it is good if you want to do custom figures. Like, you know what the actual bootleg looks like, you know what you can change, you know what you can add to it, and you just buy it accordingly. It's way cheaper. And yeah, I do advise to buy without box. I do that myself. But if you want, you can just buy with the box. At sometimes, depending on the seller, it is safer to buy with the box, because it keeps the figure from getting dented, instead of just buying it and not knowing where it's going to be packed, what the package is going to look like. Yeah, I think that's it. Those are the main tips. Photos, reviews are key, as I said. They're how I managed to score some really good looking bootleg Nandoras like these. Like, they are bootlegs and they look great. Other than that, I have been on the riskier side, because I have been buying bootleg figures for years. I have experience with this and an eye for it. Maybe later on I will do a tutorial how to spot bootleg figures, like how to recognize when the seller is selling you bootleg figurines. But for today, this is it. I hope that helped you, and see you in the next video.